superhero fatigue. That is what Hollywood keeps saying to explain poor box office numbers and very low streaming numbers. But we have got a show that will make everything they said sound like pure BS.
Inconceivable.
Invincible, a bold and original series that makes the current MCU look like total garbage. After an amazing first season, season 2 has already broken its premiere record by triple, yo. There are countless Reddit threads discussing how Invincible has the potential to replace Marvel for good. And after watching both seasons, I completely agree. Invincible comes in like a cool breeze in a superhero scene ruled by the modern MCU. Season 1 really raised the bar, and the new season is just getting the good times rolling, with no signs of slowing down. Its bold approach, plus the awesome writing and unexpected plot twists, have turned it into an instant classic. Comparing it to the recent output from the MCU, the difference in quality 差很多呢. The repetitive storylines, lackluster characters, and subpar writing are starting to wear thin, even for the most devoted Marvel fans.
All right, I've run out of patience.
It's like the MCU is stuck in their own panderverse, churning out one disappointment after the other, and even destroying the sacred timeline might not be enough. To understand Invincible's success, we first need to go back in time and rewind to 2019, when Marvel was on top of the world, waving goodbye with the grand finale of Endgame. Then, just 3 months later, Amazon throws The Boys into the ring. A gritty superhero series that's not for the faint-hearted, dude. It's got all the gore, dark humor, and superhero antics cranked up to 11. For fans like us who dig superhero stories, it was a total game changer. Now, The Boys kept its momentum going strong with its spin-off Jim V, where they even dared to tackle a transgender superhero theme in style, featuring a shape-shifting hero who effortlessly transforms between male and female, giving a real meaning to they-them.
See what I did there?
See what you did there.
Pairing them up with a black female lead for a very interesting love story, providing proof that political correctness can be done right. A celebration of diversity without the preachy vibes. But here's the thing, as much as I'm into it, I can't shake the feeling that it's not set up to become a cinematic universe heavyweight like Marvel. Its vibe is more grounded and doesn't seem to have that grand, expanded universe kind of feel. Or at least, that's how it hits me. Fast forward to me binging the first season of Invincible, and good googly moogly. But first, spoiler alert, we're about to dive deep into the plot. So if you haven't watched the show, what are you waiting for, dude? Do that first and then come back and watch this video.
We'll wait.
So let's break down what makes Invincible stand out. Sure, on the surface, it might seem like your run-of-the-mill superhero setup. We've got our heroes, who are kind of like a off-brand version of the Justice League, each seemingly cut from the same cloth of the classic comic icons. Omni-Man, basically Superman in a different suit with gray hair. Darkwing is rocking the Batman vibes, but he's got a deep tan. And Monster Girl? Well, she's got that Hulk power on lockdown. Even the world they're navigating feels like a page torn from the superhero tropes handbook, with Cecil and the Global Defense Agency orchestrating things behind the scenes while our heroes juggle secret identities, just like Marvel's S.H.I.E.L.D. But here's where Invincible throws a curveball that sets it apart from the pack. It's not just about the heroics, it's about shaking things up in the diversity department. Now I know, diversity is a big trigger word for most people, even me, and I'm black as fuck, yo. But this show does diversity the right way. The protagonist is a white Asian mix, his best bud is openly gay, and his girlfriend is black. ESG score on fleek. But they don't just stop there. There's even a cheeky line about the awesome social justice curriculum at the university Mark is considering attending with his girlfriend. It's PC with a side of humor, a far cry from the forced injections we get in Marvel movies. You won't catch Invincible preaching. Instead, it weaves these elements seamlessly into the story, allowing the audience to organically experience the richness of diversity. And then there's the satire. Invincible does not shy away from poking fun at extreme PC culture, and it is brilliant. Enter in the Xiao Cai Hong villain, Dr. Seismic, an eco-terrorist hell-bent on destroying the world to avenge the planet.
You come to pray at this obscene monument? They were oppressors, racists, slave owners.
And in a confrontation with Adam Eve, Doc Seismic tries to woke shame her.
Tear down the old power structure, build a New Order! I mean, look at the costume they've got you in! Talk about pandering to gender roles!
And then Eve claps back in one of the most cult-based scenes in the entire series.
I designed my own costume, and I thought your doctor was in seismology.
Undergrad in sociology and women's studies. I had a minor in African dance. But enough politics!
Now that's the kind of humor we crave. It's a playful jab at the absurdity of extreme environmentalists today who disrupt our daily lives with their planet-saving BS. Invincible uses plot lines to mock these extremes, unlike Marvel and Disney, who tend to shove PC narratives down our throats. Instead of just being cool popcorn flicks or diving into some real talk, these movies take a different route. They lean hard on identity politics and throw in these superpowered female characters who seem to have it all and create a world that bends over backward to fit them in, rather than the other way around. See the She-Hulk for perfect examples.
She-Hulk smash.
But when you're on the Invincible train, you're not just getting a superhero fix, you're getting a dose of diversity, humor, and a healthy serving of satire that's missing in the MCU. It's a fresh approach, and frankly, a much-needed departure from the formulaic road Marvel's been cruising on for a long minute. Invincible totally schools us on how to write characters without just ticking some identity checkbox. It's not about glorifying labels, it's about treating them like real people. Another reason why this show is great is because of the gore and realism. It's the secret sauce, son. Ever notice in past superhero movies they be tearing up buildings and you're thinking, hold up, what kind of hero wrecks stuff and ends up accidentally offing more folks than the actual bad guys? It's like Israel going after Hamas but taking out more innocent civilians than the bad guys did in the process.
Not a great plan.
This show gets it. Heroes should be all about saving lives, not just taking down the villains. And Mark even contemplates quitting the superhero gig because of his inability to save enough people. Then in season 2, there's Adam Eve who can manipulate atoms, obviously, and she uses her powers to fix up a displaced mom and daughter's home. But here's the twist. She skips the whole paperwork thing. The construction company is all about regulations, and Adam Eve's like, no, we need change. No more bureaucracy, yay!
You better be careful.
The crowd cheers, and the construction worker storms off. But guess what? The house she fixed up later collapses and kills them because she skipped the bureaucracy. A perfect illustration of the phrase, no good deed goes unpunished. This show throws you these realistic, bloody scenarios that make you wonder, do superheroes really have it all figured out? It's like the Elon Musk debate. Everyone sees him with this superhero-like IQ of 150-ish, but does that mean everything he says is pure gold? Can his decisions be flawless? How Homelander-esque is he really? This show tosses these questions at you through the lens of bloody realism. It's a wild ride of contemplation, making you question if heroes, real or fictional, truly understand the consequences of their actions. This show is not just a breath of fresh air, it's the defibrillator jolting new life into the superhero narrative, debunking the commonly pushed myth by Hollywood of superhero fatigue. People are still hungry for these stories, yo, but the caveat is clear. They need to be done right.
You're goddamn right.
Now, when it comes to the MCU, it's not that we've grown weary of superheroes, it's we've grown weary of how Marvel tells these stories. But here is where Invincible shines. It doesn't have these problems. The story is laid out like a well-crafted blueprint. Every scene, every episode serves a purpose, propelling the narrative forward with a sense of urgency and significance. The stakes in this universe feel tangible, rooted in the authenticity of its characters. And here's the kicker. Invincible is actually poised to tackle the multiverse angle way better than Marvel did. Ever since Endgame, the multiverse became a convenient plot device for Marvel, a quick fix to untangle narrative knots. Instead of adding depth to the storyline, it became a one-stop shop to tidy up those loose ends or introduce cameos that felt forced, that didn't just mean nothing, but worse, undercut the very essence of the characters. But Invincible takes a different route. Sure, it borrows some superhero tropes, but it remixes them into a narrative that feels new. Then there's the most important aspect that makes Invincible stand out: the vastness of its universe and the diversity of its hero personalities. Each character is a powerhouse, substantial enough to carry a standalone film. Take, for instance, Duplicate, an Asian heroine with the unique ability to clone herself. And to show this characteristic humor, it even addresses the question that by episode 3 is on everyone's mind. If Duplicate were your girlfriend, could you engage in dupla play? But back to the main point. This cosmic universe surpasses even the expansive realms of Marvel. It's akin to the cosmic scope of Star Wars, complete with galactic federations, villainous planets, and parallel universes. The villains aren't just one-dimensional antagonists, they engage in altruistic acts of their personal agendas, and every character possesses a distinctive personality. This depth and diversity keeps the audience eagerly anticipating more. Invincible isn't just a success because it calls out MCU's flaws, it brings a cool alternative vibe to it. The show isn't afraid to take risks, dive into the darker stuff, and give us characters with some real complexity. It's a reminder that superheroes don't always have to follow the same old script. There's space for new ideas and change. Major props to Amazon for consistently upping their game with these original shows. If you haven't already, seriously, do yourself a favor and check out this show. It's a thrilling ride that breaks away from the mundane and the predictable. But before you do that, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace!